The vast majority of us, when told that we should exercise, will say, "Ugh, I hate exercise." And honestly, this was my first response when my anxiety and depression were starting to get the better of me. I had said a prayer telling Heavenly Father that I was doing everything that I was supposed to. So why am I falling back into my depression and anxiety pit? Do you want to know what he said to me? He said, "No, you're not." Do you want to know what went through my mind as I realized that the one thing that he thought I should be doing was exercise? Ugh! I hate exercise. If I have learned anything in my life, it is that obedience brings blessings. And that while I didn't like to exercise, at least at that point, I had been given my answer. And I knew that the only way I was going to be able to manage my depression and anxiety was by doing what he said I needed to do. It's been more than 2 years since that prayer was answered. And now I'm a fitness instructor. According to Stats Canada, 1 in 4 adults will have at least one anxiety disorder in their lifetime. As a reflection, also according to Stats Canada, 2 out of 10 adults meet weekly exercise recommendations, with youth aged 5 to 17 being even less, at 1 out of 10 getting enough exercise. Do you want to know what any doctor, therapist, or counselor is going to ask or recommend when you seek treatment? They're going to recommend that you exercise. Exercise helps alleviate anxiety symptoms. Anxiety is a huge issue in all ages and for all walks of life. Learning to exercise now will alleviate anxiety issues on top of mitigate other problems and other potential health problems further down the line. Exercise is not limited to the gym. There are limitless options that fit any budget and all abilities. As mentioned, anxiety is a huge issue, especially among Canadians. Anxiety doesn't care your age, your gender, or your color. Biologically, anxiety is primarily a healthy reaction. According to the biology of mood and anxiety disorders, the amygdala, which is a part of our brain, processes our thoughts or our threat signals and our fear responses. We are biologically programmed to recognize threats and react in certain ways. It's why if somebody jumps out at you, you either scream and run or you fight. Problems with anxiety arise when there are errors in the mediation process of the amygdala and our fear response. Those with anxiety find it difficult to distract their brains from the things that it perceives as threatening. So while our brains are wired to see threats and to respond, they also have systems in place to help process it. Movement. We have all heard about the fight or flight impulse, and it's a huge part of our natural response to stress or to threats. Anxiety leaves us with a need to fight or run. Exercise will help alleviate the negative symptoms associated with anxiety via endorphins, which are hormones that are triggered by our amygdala and released into our body. So basically, they give our bodies a natural high. They inhibit pain. They help to regulate emotion. They are associated with pleasurable experiences and to help in the creation of memories. A study of anxiety in youth that involved a 7-month exercise intervention program showed a marked improvement in the youth's ability to overcome various critical situations and to manage anxiety. International guidelines state that adults require 150 minutes of vigorous to moderate exercise per week, and that youth aged 5 to 17 need 16 minutes of vigorous to moderate exercise per week for at least 10 minutes at a time. So anyone who has ever attended a yoga class knows that even though many styles are largely sedentary and slow moving, that they still get the heart pumping and can make you break a sweat. The most important thing is to get yourself moving. Keep trying different things until you can find something that you enjoy. Once you find it, be consistent. Exercise at least 3 times a week, and you'll start to crave it. And you'll notice its absence when you are no longer consistent. Exercise couldn't be going to the gym, going for a walk, going to a group fitness class, or doing a workout series. I discovered a love for exercise after attending a high fitness class with my friend Mandy. I had expressed to her that I knew that I needed to start exercising in order to help alleviate my depression and anxiety symptoms. And I needed somebody to help hold me accountable. She invited me to the class, and while I found it very challenging, I loved it. And I attended her classes after she certified and just craved it. I went from not enjoying exercise to being disappointed if I couldn't go at least twice or at least 3 times a week. I loved that the movements were fun and easy to follow. I loved that it was to music that I loved, that there was a rhythm to the movement, and that I could lose myself in it. I also loved that the music was loud enough that I couldn't hear myself breathing, because for some reason, if I can hear myself breathing hard, I convince myself that I'm dying. I have now been a fitness instructor for 2 years. I love it. I find that it is a huge part of my mental health formula. And I notice that when I am not as consistent, that I struggle to keep my depression and anxiety in check. So I want to challenge you to help me, and because I want to help you. Go out and find a way to get yourself moving. Endorphins help our body to naturally deal with anxiety. Studies have proved that exercise improves both mental and physical wellness. So make fitness a priority in your life. Both your body and your mind will thank you.